8:20 a.m. In my opinion, people are bored. Not much different since Forza Horizon 2. Call of Duty effect. Play one and you've played them all. People are realizing that. The mention of no Forza this year excites me. More that I hope we hear more about this unknown third Forza title. 8:31 a.m. Forza Street leaked for Windows 10, iOS, and Listen, when I said I wanted a third Forza title, a mobile game was the last thing. Fresh mind. Hello. Welcome to my studio. We're going to be talking about Forza Motorsport Horizon Street today. Which one? I don't know. Let's take a pick from that. But seriously, you've already seen the news. There's an article down below. I don't want to sit here and talk about, oh, it's announced. Oh, if you didn't know, you probably saw the title. You probably already know. You know, it's a thing. It's definitely coming out. Apparently, we know it's coming out because Dan Greenwell? Some Forza fella is going to be on a live stream for the first time ever. We're going to talk about the Forza Motorsport 4 backwards compatibility coming to Xbox and also this mobile game. There's no Forza this year planned. They said that what they were going to be doing updates to the current games to keep them going, but they're probably focusing on the new hardware and double downing on the next Xbox because that is probably coming next year as long with the next PlayStation, so they're making a launch title that's, you know, ready. For this year, we're technically not going to have a full title released, and it looks like that's definitely the case now because we've got the mobile game. I assume this game may possibly have been a motorsport title, or I was hoping that they said there's no motorsport this year and there's no Horizon this year. I was hoping that we'll get the third title, which would have been something different, something unique, something amazing. We're getting a mobile game. It's okay though, because as you may or may not know, mobile games can be pretty darn good. Need for Speed No Limits is one of my favorite mobile titles. There's a bunch of different titles like CSR, a lot of drag racing titles. Microsoft also released their own Miami Racing Street Bob Miami something, and people were like, okay, this looks like it has Forza models. It was a very basic game, but ultimately it was testing the waters and seeing what they could do with Forza models and stuff on mobile device. I think it was going to launch on mobile, but it just launched on Windows 10, and yeah. But the thing is, it's launching on Windows 10. Now, the developer that made this, it also made that Miami Street game. It's launching on Windows 10, so in my head, it's surely going to come to consoles. They wouldn't just release for Windows 10, iOS, and Android. They're currently, if you didn't know, Microsoft are working on a way to make Xbox titles run on the PC, as in literal Xbox titles are emulated on PC, so it makes it much easier for development and such. There is only one title in the Forza franchise that wasn't on the console, and that's because it was a skimmed down, watered down, ripped to pieces version of an Xbox version. So what could this Forza Street be? That is my topic of this video. I don't want to ramble on about anymore. If you want to know any more details, description, link to the Knobheads article. Street racing. Now, as we know, in Forza games, they generally don't have the street racing vibe. It's usually very festival-y, very happy, and everybody loves everybody, and oh, I love you. Street, to me, is dirty, gritty street racing. Now, in my head, as I have mentioned, I think this will come to consoles. If it doesn't, you can discard this idea out of the window, because if it is launching with the focus being on mobile, because mobile is definitely going to get more players than PC, it's going to be a very basic free-to-play game that has very basicness to it, not much customization at all in the slides, maybe changing the color of your car, maybe no even upgrading your car. It would just be that very simple, basic mobile game. But as we say, if there is an Xbox version and they're going to release it on PC, Xbox, and the mobile versions are more skimmed down versions, then we might actually have something here that could be a brilliant next step to the Forza franchise. Horizon, yes, is a open world street racing game, but to be completely honest with you, it's not really street racing focused. It's very festival, fun. We could potentially see Forza go up against Need for Speed. Need for Speed, as we know, has a street racing heritage. It's basically what the game is, at least what we want it to be. Need for Speed this year is coming out, as we know, in November, and it's going to be a street racing game. It's going to be more similar to that of 2015, as we have heard, which is nitty gritty, dirty dog street racing. So if Forza releases a street racing title, that would directly compete with Need for Speed. They would be conquering all the markets. They would have the happy throw your hands in the air festival vibe. They would have the motorsport titles that give you that track racing experience if you want it, and then Forza Street, which could potentially be the Need for Speed competitor. This could be the game where they focus on the customization. All the customization properly goes into here. Of course, all the cars and the models and everything are usually shared between games, but we could potentially see this go next level. But coming back down to earth, I'm gonna come out and say I probably don't think that's gonna happen. It's not made by Turn 10. It's not made by Playground Games. It's being made by the developer that last known for making that Miami Street game, which I still don't know if it's available to everybody. But it makes me wonder, it makes me hope. They have said for the longest time that a third Forza title is coming. And the fact that there's not going to be a proper Forza title this year. If Dan says nothing, okay, and this title doesn't get announced until E3. In my opinion, it would not do a big release, a big launch, if they announced it on the stream. Not many people watch it. Only if you're a dedicated Forza fan would it really start to pick up. If they save it for E3, then we might have a potentially bigger thing on our hands. But which of these ideas do you think is going to happen? E3 big game, not so big game announced on Forza livestream. It seems everything is kind of pointing to the not so big game. And that, in a way, makes me go, Because obviously Sony making a console means that Xbox has to make a console. The first one to the market is usually the one that gets a big bump at the head start. When it comes down to it, it would make sense that they're probably not going to rush a Forza game. Maybe they wanted to make a Forza game this year, but they couldn't. Maybe this will come to Xbox. Maybe it'll be a bit better than a basic mobile game, but it's going to be pretty simple. At least that's what I imagine, unless I'm completely wrong, but this could be the beginning at the very least. No matter if this game isn't a proper full-fledged Forza game, in the future it could potentially be, and it's something where they can... In my head, I was trying to think for the longest time what this next third Forza title could be, because they've been speaking about it for so long. Is it going to be a rally game? They kind of already have rally in one of the games. Is it going to be a more serious track game? Some people said no, really, they wouldn't do that because that's what motorsport is supposed to be. There isn't really anything else they could potentially do that's massively different. Street racing is the furthest away from the norm that they have. We just gotta hope that fucking jamming isn't in the... I swear, if you put jamming in this game... Can you imagine? They release it and it has like a slight introduction to it, because you know they're not going to do the story. If they do a slight introduction to it and jamming is the main... I won't play this game for more than 2 seconds, so if you got jamming in there, let me mute him. Otherwise, I will delete this. I'm kidding, I won't. I'm still going to check it out. It's going to be interesting. Let's see what it's like. Mobile games, you know what? We need a good, proper, solid mobile racing game. Let's see how they do. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments. As I said, the article's down below if you want to check it out. Be sure to smash like, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.